Today's been one of those days where it's just like everything goes wrong. My wall was blown down by the storm the other day, and I'm going to fix it up, and the storm's back. I can't fix it; it'll just blow it right back down again. It's just it's one of those days where you have a kind of a reminder of that life isn't as smooth as we are sometimes told it is. When you're in school, they tell you that you be study and do as you're told, get your exams, get your, do everything, you'll go through life and it'll be fine. And then you find out, well, I didn't do it. I kind of just, I remember, well, I can remember the career counselor telling me I was an awful child. He said to me, what do you want to do? I said, I want to study electronics. He says to me, where you want to go? I go to Kevin Street. And he says, what will you do if you don't get into Kevin Street? And I says, oh, probably just, arse around the world and do nothing. And he was quite shocked that I had no real plans. And the only reason I was studying electronics was not to get a job, was because I was interested in electronics as a hobby. I just wanted to go to college to further a hobby. And I did actually get into Kevin Street, and Dublin Institute of Technology, and I hated it. I was 1 year there, and it was a horrible, horrible experience. Uh, I was from, I put this way, there was a huge class system there, and I was from the wrong side of the tracks, and I was looked down on and spoken to like I was absolute scum by all these like middle class white boys, and they were full of themselves, and because their daddy had a company and got them a job and this kind of shit, and I had the lecturers were all bastards too, and I can remember the defining moment when I decided to quit was I was in the canteen one day eating the shit food that they served us, and a a absolute wanker from the student union body stood up on the table and made an announcement that the Socialist Trotskyite Students League had a canteen. I had a lunchtime meeting and none of us showed up, and how they're there for us. And I was like, it's just like, this is just bullshit. And I walked out, and that was the end of that. And it's been like that ever since. And so, I wasn't one of those people that like knew that the life and society presented a perfect plan to follow. So I'm lucky that way. But it's just good to be reminded now and again that even when you're trying to do something as mundane as repair a wall, that you'll have to deal with bullshit. It just can't be. It just the goddess of fate, as it's known, has always be there. Now, this brings me to an issue regarding the mainstream media and the alternative media, and I think I've been going through a little bit of a crisis in the last week. I accidentally got up one morning. I mentioned it on another video, and I saw some horrific videos on Facebook. All the lunatics and psychopaths and whack jobs all show up on Facebook at 3-4 in the morning, crumbs on 3-3-3 time, and they post these sick videos for energy harvesting. And I caught two of them. One I spoke about on the other channel of seeing a snake, a guy feeding live puppies to a snake, and it was just shocking. Not so, even so much the actual thing of the killing the puppies, which is bad enough, but the snake looked like it was a human being. It really, it's just like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And also the a few beheading videos, and that just put me in a bad mood for a few days. And I haven't been just been fed up and that kind of thing. And I've been trying to just get work done, and even that's been a pain in the ass. But anyway, it shows what the scent that the mainstream media has sheltered reality from us all this time. Reality, not just in terms of political reality and economic reality, in terms of say things like political correctness, or how politicians can have no problem getting filing for bankruptcy, and getting on with their lives, or getting enormous bank loans and stuff like that. But all kinds of realities. The reality of the things like the animal kingdom, like YouTube is now. We've all grown up on those BBC documentaries, National Geographic documentaries, and they show videos of the lions and the tigers and the cheetahs killing all the gazelles and the water buffalo and the wildebeest, and you'd have like some douchebag like David Attenborough going as the wildebeest is being taken down by the lion. No lion now takes down the wildebeest as Darwin's unquestioned law of, evolution has finally is validated once again for a million times. You now realize that that's all bullshit because there's videos of of zebras killing tigers on YouTube. That's someone who didn't work for the BBC or National Geographic, who wasn't fulfilling the Royal Geographic Society's or the British royal family's agenda of explaining why they associate totally with lions and why it's the top of the food chain. And videos of wildebeest ganging up with fucking crocodiles to kill a bunch of lions, and they drive the lions into the crocodiles. It's the most remarkable thing. Nature is nothing like these documentaries have portrayed. They portrayed it in very simplistic terms, so you actually see it only in an almost childlike way, where there's a hierarchy in the natural world, just like there's a hierarchy in the the human world. But that's all changing too, because you can see like the likes of CNN is on its last leg. It's probably going to be dropped by Time Warner soon, and they still think that they're the lords of the media. And you're having a mad rush by the likes of the BBC and other. Do you like my halo, by the way? See, Lucifer is blessing me. Thor's the goddess Diana. Do you see? Ooh, I am enunciated by the light. Ooh, see that? Now I step out of the light. Malediction, benediction. Malediction, benediction. You see, polar opposites, dualities. See, this is what I've been really trying to teach us all here for years. But the brightest light casts the darkest shadow. The darkest shadow is the result of the brightest light. And so, yeah, we were seeing YouTube is they're suddenly frantically running onto YouTube in order to sort of like mainstream media YouTube as much as possible, because the peasants are finding out so much about life that that is completely opposite than what they've been telling us all along. And this is what the mainstream media has done. It has filtered reality from people more than anything else. That's what it's done. It's told reality that it's told people that reality is a certain way, but it's not. Just like within the human society, you will have the the Mavericks. You have the Mavericks within the whole cosmological outlook of life. I see this kind of mainstream structuring of thought everywhere, even in things like the New Age movement. This thing with ley lines. Everything in nature is a wave. There's absolutely no straight lines in nature. None, zero. Even if you magnify in the side of a crystal, it's actually waves up along the side of a crystal. It's a wave pattern, which makes perfect sense. It's because it's able to vibrate instead of a vibration when it's exposed to electromagnetic charge. It wouldn't be able to create a vibration otherwise if it was dead straight. So this whole thing of ley lines being dead straight, there's two things to that. Either I believe totally that ley lines do exist, but they go as waves. They run like rivers, they run like streams, they run like light waves. They fluctuate. There's like why would they go dead straight? They don't. This is Masonic thinking. This is like the old straight path, the square deal, the square guy. And if they run dead straight across the landscape, then it's probably things like megaliths and churches, ancient churches that have actually created the straight lines and digitized an analog reality. You see, a lot of my work, if you followed, I think it was my AV6 talk, I think with the digital gin, that the idea that life, this whole new age thing of we are digital computers is such bullshit. We're analog manifest. That's what we are. Everything is analog. Why would we be digital when everything else is in the universe is analog? This is why they're trying to make robots out of us. It's the monsters who are it's the robots, it's the control structure who are digital. We're not. We're analog. We flow. We run like a wave, and that's what their ley lines are. They run across the landscape like this. It's only when they've been plugged into by these like obelisks and stuff that they go dead straight. And the New Ages have given us this nonsense that the dead straight paths and grids around the world. That what do those maps of the world show you when they have grid points of perfectly straight lines? What did that show you? A fucking prison bars. That's what you're seeing. And you see this has come from mainstream New Age thought. It hasn't come from alternative New Age, which is probably what things like original Wicca is, not the American feminist version of Wicca, and not this really complicated version of Wicca we have now, and things like general heathenism and paganism and Slavic heathenism and so on. Native Americans, the red, the whole lot, Mayans. That's they operate in more wave-like functions and secular patterns. It's not, and this is what another thing they want us dead straight and dead formatted. You see that long before a computer disk was formatted, humans were formatted, and this is what the mainstream media has done to us. They've made us see things as very rigid, impermeable, unmovable, and rigid and structured and information in terms of everything. And the alternative media, since the arrival of the citizen journalist, has shown us it's anything but that. It's everything is far more complicated. There are videos when you see a video of a zebra killing a zebra protecting its baby that's being chased by I think it's either a no it's a cheetah, and the zebra actually kills the cheetah by drowning it in the water. You realize how much lies we've been fed when you see a video of a snake that's been reared by a psychopath having the cognition of a human, and it's like this can't wait to eat, and it's acting like a person even though it's a reptile, and it's like a fucking demon fucking consciousness in that thing. You realize just how much we've been sheltered by. Did you see that light go by? Did you see that? Just behind me on this side, when we play back the video, another one of those weird lights went by. This is just the weirdest thing. Now, anyway, I just want to said the word demon, a light flew by. Would that mean anything? No, there's no insects around because it's winter and everything is dead. That just like zipped by right then, as clear as anything. We'll look back at that later, see what's on the video. But yes, we've been sheltered, we've been lied to, and this is why there's the mad rush onto YouTube by the BBC. They're locking down everything. My video, my blog posts are human beings. Are some of your social media friends actually demons? I can't post that anywhere on Facebook. I can't even send it as a message. It's disallowed as offensive material. Yeah, I can log onto Facebook and see someone having their head chopped off, or someone being set on fire, or animals being tortured, but that a blog post where I talk about Chromosome 333 is actually auto blocked by script I'll post a link below here so you can all share it. Is actually blocked by Facebook. And if they thought it was nutcase and stupid stuff, they would just let it go and ridicule me. But they don't. They actually physically block the article. Why? Why do they physically block the article? Why? If they don't believe in a spiritual dimension to human beings, or a spiritual aspect of the universe, or other entities or other realities like this, then why are they blocking my video about that? Why? They shouldn't have just let it go and laugh at me and leave me to ridicule. I'll tell you why. Because I can't be ridiculed that easily. I don't. I don't profess to have a messianic personality, and so I put information out there in as intelligent and as balanced way as I can do it. I also do it with very powerful, if I can have time to do it, artistic delivery, using the idea of music and yes, that's my cat running around, by the way. The idea of music and an aesthetic to deliver it, and makes me probably a lot more dangerous than a lot of other people in that I don't profess that there's an end time coming, or there's a great awakening coming. It's the great awakening happening has already happened. That's why that ritual they had recently, where they were those dumb numbnuts witches, um, Harry Potter types, to be honest, were trying to take down Trump, were using the tarot card. If they knew anything about the tarot, they wouldn't have used the tarot card. They would have used the five of coins, or the more likely the wheel, to complete the cycle of Trump. But they bring the tarot card up because Trump tarot, I'm a witch. That's what that was really about. Uh, yeah, the fact that backfired immediately, it rebounded immediately on Hollywood when they announced the wrong best movie. What was his name? Warren Beatty announced the wrong film. He had one job, the fucker, and it's all Hollywood has lost all its magic. It's dead. Tinseltown, it's finished. Just like the mainstream media is finished. All they can do now is to bring out the totalitarian hand through their own mainstream media websites like BuzzFeed and Salon, the BBC. The hand has been taken from behind the velvet glove, and the iron fist is out, and that's what's happening now. But they won't win because the fascism it's always doomed to fail because human beings are not robots. They're just not. They just can't be controlled like robots. We just don't function in that manner. and the more darkness they impose upon us, the more light happens. You understand? It's this is why I tell people to study the occult and the esoteric, and don't say, oh, they're all Satanists and all this stuff, because there's genuine wisdom there. It's the application of the wisdom that matters. Uh, there's times where it might seem like we're living in a shit world. There's times when it might seem like we're up against it, but we're winning. We're always winning. It's like the obsessive stalkers I have who can't stop talking about me, can't stop slandering me, can't stop putting me down. Feed me, motherfuckers. Just give me that energy. I love it. I'm sucking it in like a fucking citrus fruit. You're so stupid you can't even understand it. And that's what's the mainstream media attacking people like PewDiePie and all the others, and Infowars and the rest of them. It doesn't matter. All you're doing is feeding them. You're just feeding them. They'll win. You've lost. It's like Michael Collins says: our greatest weapon is our refusal, and people are refusing the mainstream, and they're losing.